to me, it seems very scary and Orwellian now that people are so focused in having these conversations, political dialogue on these online platforms, and these private companies can just silence you because they think that you might be in league with the enemy. Isn't that quite dystopian?
There are serious things to say about Facebook and Google. One is that they are collecting huge amounts of data about everybody. Right now, as you know, this thing is pouring data into Facebook's and Google's accounts. They are using that. Their business model now is designed to sell personal and detailed personal information to the corporate sector so that they can both direct your consumption habits but also control you in all sorts of ways. That's what one of the people who's written about this, Shoshana Zuboff, calls surveillance capitalism, which is a technique of domination and control, which is sort of aiming towards what's being done in China, where there's a social credit system. You get a certain number of credits, and you're totally monitored. There's cameras all over, face recognition. Anything you do, say jaywalk or whatever, may reduce your credits, and there are penalties. Or you may increase your credits by doing something they like, ends up with a population that internalizes social controls and just obeys them. There are companies in the United States now, actually it started in Europe, but now in the United States, which have what they call microchip parties, where you convince the employees to put in a chip, and it has all sorts of advantages. You can access your credit card. You can open you don't need a key, very nice thing. Meanwhile, it allows them to monitor everything you're doing, and it's done. So Amazon, for example, carefully monitors the workers in its hideous warehouses. So it finds there's an algorithm that finds the shortest way from here to here, and if a worker goes a little bit out of the way, they get a warning and a punishment. And they found that they could increase productivity that way. UPS drivers are carefully monitored now. Fewer drivers, more productivity by careful monitoring and control. That's the most dangerous and insidious aspect of Facebook and Google. I should say also that although it's only been reported in the business press as far as I know, Facebook was directly involved in manipulating elections in Europe. In Germany, in the last election, the neo-fascist party, AfD, had a surprising increase in votes.
I'm sorry, I've heard you say before, why are they a neo-fascist party?
Why are they a neo-fascist party?
Yes.
Because of their policies. Take a look at them. Their background is neo-Nazi. Their actual policies are harsh, brutal, xenophobic, anti-immigrant, anti-worker policies. It's a neo-fascist party.
Okay.
And a media company in the United States, a Texas-based company, which works for Trump, Marine Le Pen, Netanyahu, other far-right figures, got together with the Berlin office of Facebook, which agreed to give them detailed demographic information about the voting population in Germany. Of course, they have this massive information, so that they could micro-target ads to particular individuals, playing on their prejudices and concerns to try to get them to vote for AfD. Well, we don't have a detailed study of what happened, but in fact the AfD vote went surprisingly high. That looks like a case of authentic manipulation. There's a much more serious one in Brazil. Brazil, a really horrendous figure, the worst of all the authoritarian figures now plaguing the world, did succeed in getting elected. By one of the means was imprisoning the likely victor, Lula da Silva, who was far ahead in the polls, imprisoning him for 25 years, essentially a death sentence, solitary confinement, not allowed to get print material, not allowed to make public statements, to try to silence him before the poll. This is done to me. The next move was a massive campaign on social media, WhatsApp, which is, for most of the population, the poor population, they have phones. They don't read newspapers, don't have television. An incredible campaign of venomous lies and vilification, which is almost hard to believe when you see it, but it had an impact. People over there say, yes, people started to believe it, that the opposition, the Workers' Party, was going to force children to be homosexuals, was going to attack religion, all sorts of hideous things. And it had an effect. It was well funded. Sources were probably here, though we can't be sure. And it may be a kind of a dry run for what we may be seeing in future elections. Those are things to be concerned about.